He's one of the highest paid actors in the world today for a reason. Hello guys, welcome to Filmanter, and for today's list, we'll be counting down Akshay Kumar's best films to date. Please note that while some points will be credited to the actor's performances for this list, it's the overall product that we'll be looking at to rank some of his best works right now. And before we begin, as always, please make sure to subscribe to Filmanter if you haven't already, and press the bell icon to never miss an update. With that out of the way, this is Amir, and here are top 10 best Akshay Kumar movies. Number 10, Welcome.
और भाई साहब वो वाली बात अंकल को उठाने वाली जो मैंने बताई थी और ऐसे गंदे इशारे कर रहे थे कैसे इशारे कर रहा था
Spoiler alert, you're gonna see a lot of comedies in this list, and this 2007 Anees Bazmi comedy is no exception. Starring a titillating ensemble cast including Anil Kapoor, Nana Patekar, Katrina Kaif, Paresh Rawal and Feroz Khan alongside Kumar himself, Welcome had a lot going for itself. A chaotic storyline, several colorful characters, romance, bromance, great soundtrack, and above all, it was a funny movie, which can be said for a lot of comedies these days. Kumar himself playing a toned-down version of the loud-mouthed slapstick characters he usually plays in these types of comedies was a refreshing surprise, but what ended up stealing the show was the banter between Uday Shetty, Majnu Bhai, and Dr. Ghungru, characters who have become classics over the past decade, and their exchange of dialogues becoming pop culture sensation ever since. That's probably the same reason why several people today rank Welcome as the most rewatchable Akshay Kumar movie of his career. Number 9, Aankhein. This movie had a plot no one in their right mind could have believed had they not seen the film, which is perhaps why it was such an intriguing watch. Aankhein revolved around a terminated bank manager plotting revenge from his ex-employer by hiring 3 men to perform a heist there during the middle of the day. Only, there's a caveat. These 3 men were blind. Although a masterstroke to avoid being suspected, having 3 blind men rob a bank required a ton of planning, picture-perfect coordination, and extremely precise execution. And even then the idea sounds impossible. In comes Neha, a trainer at a local disability school who is subsequently blackmailed into carrying out the plan. Aankhein is precisely what it promises, planning the heist and executing it, which is why it has practically no dull moments in it. The movie that saw Arjun Rampal, Paresh Rawal, Sushmita Sen, Amitabh Bachchan and Akshay Kumar coming together became the second highest grosser of the year 2002. And while director Vipul Amrutlal Shah attempted to bring Bachchan and Kumar together one more time in his 2005 drama Waqt, The Race Against Time, he just couldn't match the magnitude of his earlier hit, Aankhein. Number 8, Bad Man. Over the past few years, Akshay Kumar has turned unapologetically towards the social drama genre in a move that has had its fair share of supporters and detractors. One thing that most can agree on, however, is that 2018's Padman was an extremely important movie primarily envisioned by Kumar's wife Twinkle Khanna. Inspired by the real-life story of Arunanchalam Muruganantham, Padman told the story of Laxmmi Chauhan, who revolutionized the concept of menstrual hygiene in rural India by creating a low-cost sanitary napkin machine. As expected, the move, despite in good faith, turns out to be the cause of communal trouble for the entrepreneur, and before he knows it, he's having to explain the benefits of such a pad to women around him, even his wife. Padman follows Chauhan's quest in breaking the taboo around sanitary pads in real life, and Akshay Kumar's quest in doing so in real life. Also, Radhika Apte as Chauhan's wife Gayatri was phenomenal. Watch it for her if you haven't already. Number 7, De Danadan. If Christopher Nolan was brought to India and asked to make a Bollywood comedy, it would be De Danadan. Okay, that's a stretch, but you get the point. Comedies in Bollywood are usually equated to dumbed-down scripts, cheesy plots, and nonsensical motivations. And then there's Priyadarshan's De Danadan. Now don't get us wrong, it too has its own cheesy elements, but on the core, De Dhanadhan is a pretty smart comedy that respects the audience enough not to shy away from a complicated plot that demands concentration and is equally entertaining in keeping us hooked. The film follows two unfortunate friends who try to kidnap a wealthy businesswoman's dog for ransom, only to discover absolute chaos in the hotel they hide themselves in. Beyond its plot though, the biggest thing De Dhanadhan has to offer is its lead actors bringing Akshay Kumar, Sunil Shetty and Paresh Rawal together one more time, more on that later, and letting the beloved actors take up the center stage. Number 6. Bhool Bhulaiya.
इसी की बात की थी ना तुमने बहुत खतरनाक स्टेज पे है इसे खुला क्यों छोड़ रखा है इसे खूंटे से बांध के रख दो.
And we have another Priyadarshan comedy. This time though, with an engaging blend of horror in it, and with absolute powerhouse performances by the likes of Vidya Balan and Kumar himself. An official remake of a 1993 Malayalam film, Bhool Bhulaiya followed an NRI couple, Siddharth and Avni, returning to India and staying in the husband's ancestral home, ignoring all of their friends and family's warnings about the house being haunted. Later, of course, strange things start to happen, which Siddharth equates to his cousin's psychological problems and calls his psychiatrist friend Aditya from the US to investigate the incidents. What follows is a genuine edge-of-your-seat whodunit thriller that flirts with genres like suspense, horror, thriller, and even comedy all at the same time, making Bhool Bhulaiya an extremely unpredictable movie. Bhool Bhulaiya has enough for everyone to be entertained, including a well-developed backstory, leaving viewers craving for more at the end of it. Number 5. Special 26.
CBI का मतलब है that you love your country above everything else. CBI means that you will live for your country and that you will die for your country.
Kicking off our top 5 in an emphatic statement is this 2013 Neeraj Pandey crime thriller, which opens with a surprise CBI raid at a minister's house led by CBI officers PK Sharma and Ajay Singh, and with the help of local police. Following the successful raid, the CBI officers confiscate the black money, and police is asked to stay there for the next set of instructions. Only, there is no next instruction. The four men that posed as being CBI officers were actually imposters who managed to vanish long before anyone could say real CBI. Following this brilliant fake raid, Special 26 becomes a cat and mouse game between these imposters and the real CBI trying to catch them. Starring Manoj Bajpayee, Anupam Kher, Jimmy Shergill, and Rajesh Sharma alongside Kumar, just to name a few, the gripping storytelling of Special 26 is perhaps its biggest USP, bringing a sense of urgency in every frame of this real-life inspired period thriller. And with everything considered, Special 26 was a great follow-up to the director's earlier project, A Wednesday. Number 4. Khiladi. They don't call him the Khiladi of Bollywood for no reason. Here's a movie that not only brought Kumar to mainstream limelight, but also became such a huge commercial hit that it inspired a plethora of filmmakers to capitalize on this image Kumar had made for himself by casting him in movies literally having the word Khiladi in their names too. The 1992 Abbas Mastan thriller though follows a group of 4 friends faking a kidnapping of one of them just for fun, but in a dark turn of events, finding one of them dead while staying in an isolated cottage outside the city. Not only a breakthrough project for Kumar, Khiladi was the first in many Abbas Mastan flicks that pack a lot of action during their runtime with a substantially satisfying dose of suspense and plot twists that the director duo has over the years become synonymous with. All in all, Khiladi, which also starred Deepak Tejori, Prem Chopra, Aisha Jhalka, Shakti Kapoor, Anand Mahadevan, and Johnny Lever in supporting roles, had something to offer for everyone, including comedy and a very catchy soundtrack, making it the most must-see Akshay Kumar star for the younger fans of his. Number 3. Phir Hera Pheri.
उसके और 21 दिन में पैसा 8 गुना उसके 16 गुना 32 गुना.
You know where this list is going, don't you? Sequels are a very risky proposition in Bollywood. Whereas sometimes they're an honest effort to match the original, most of the other times, they leave a sour taste in our mouths. Thankfully, this 2006 Neeraj Vora comedy was far from being a disappointment. The sequel to the widely acclaimed Hera Pheri saw our beloved characters Shyam, Babu Rao, and Raju get caught in yet another mess of fortune involving riches and the underworld. Phir Hera Pheri, which had a lot of new characters added than the first installment, had many memorable moments ranging from 21 din mein paisa double, chor ke ghar mein chori, 1000 ka chutta, and many more. The Paresh Rawal, Akshay Kumar and Sunil Shetty starrer has become an absolute sensation on the internet over the years, so don't be surprised if decades down the line, it's regarded as the most iconic Akshay Kumar starrer period. Number 2, Airlift.
पर इन सबको अचानक छोड़ के तो नहीं जा सकता ना
और हमें यहाँ पे छोड़ सकते हो तुम
It won't be too far-fetched to say that this 2016 epic historical drama paved way for the era of patriotic Bollywood movies in its most current incarnation today. Airlift, which also starred Nimrat Kaur, Purab Kohli and Kumud Mishra in prominent roles, was set around the 1990 Gulf War and focused on the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait and the subsequent evacuation of Kuwaiti Indians there. The film follows Kumar's Ranjit Katyal, a similar Kuwaiti-based Indian businessman who ended up becoming one of the main catalysts for the mass operation, despite having enough resources and contacts to leave the war zone with his family alone. Often criticized for the lack of versatility in his performances, Airlift is perhaps one of the finest performances the actor has given in his illustrious career so far, with several moments of dire vulnerability and yet still coming across as the leader of the pack. Regardless of its historical accuracies, as a film, Airlift delivers at all levels, be it its cinematography, score, or screenplay, but the standout of them all is hands down Kumar himself. And number 1, Hera Pheri. Let's be real, most would agree that Hera Pheri is hands down the best movie of Akshay Kumar's career. Having done 6 films together yet, the first of Kumar and Priyadarshan collaborations hails not only as the best film of the actor's career, but also ranks among some of the greatest comedies ever in the Hindi cinema according to various outlets and polls. The movie that first introduced us to its culturally iconic lead characters today was a laugh riot 2 decades back and has still managed to stay as relevant as ever thanks to the immense love it has garnered by adults and youngsters alike. A hardworking yet jobless pushover, a shrewd manipulator, and a perpetually irritated landlord, Hera Pheri's biggest strength was the on-screen chemistry between Rawal, Kumar and Shetty in just their first film altogether. The movie not only paved way for Kumar to explore comedy as a viable niche post the 90s, which he became synonymous with over the years that followed, but also gave us perhaps the quintessential icon of Indian comedy in Baburao Ganpatrao Apte, played by Paresh Rawal in what is widely considered his greatest role to date, and that's saying a lot for an actor having just about 300 movies under his belt. And there you have it guys, top 10 best Akshay Kumar movies. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comment section down below. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to Filmanter for more such content ahead. With that out of the way, I hope you have a safe week ahead. My name is Amir and I will see you soon.